from the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
From elementary school to college and every grade in between, navigating the pandemic continues to be a rocky road for students, parents, and educators. Good evening to you. I'm Amanda Starrentino. Now at 11 and working for you, team coverage on the latest school challenges and how they are impacting you. We start with WRTV's Cornelius Hawker. He spoke to an IU dad whose daughter, like hundreds of other students, is now scrambling to find a new place to live less than 2 weeks into the semester.
So many college students knew it was only a matter of time before something like this happened.
When you're living in a communal environment like a sorority house, if there's even a couple people that are doing the wrong thing, it just kind of affects everyone. Indiana
University is now recommending shutting down all Greek houses on campus after members of dozens were ordered to quarantine. Riley Sample's sorority house was one of them. She decided to spend the remainder of her quarantine at home with her family, so she didn't have to deal with any problems.
When you're quarantined in the house, you have to have people bring the meals to you. And that gets to be an issue because there aren't always enough girls around to bring you the meals.
I talked to Riley and her father, Stephen, who's an emergency room doctor.
I expected this. I gave it 2 weeks when she left, and I think she thought I was joking. I was not. And when you stick kids together, 80 or 100 kids in a house, there was just no way that this was going to end up any other way.
He tweeted about his daughter's situation, one that in some form or another is playing out across our country for millions of families. Stephen thinks this situation could have been avoided.
I think it's unfortunate that we don't have a good, solid national plan for this. So everybody is winging it.
This leaves college students like Riley in a state of limbo. A year ago in these pictures, blissfully unaware of the uncertain times she'd be trying to plan her future in this year.
To my college peers, I think this just goes to show that this is serious and that we have to take this seriously or we're not going to be on campus at all.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
IU says its recommendation is based on mitigation testing positivity rates, which are over 50% in some houses. Ultimately, the decision to find alternate housing will be up to the Greek organizations themselves. The IU Interfraternity Council released a statement calling the recommendations, quote, irrational and dangerous, and accusing the university of demonizing the Greek community. The statement also says, quote, Indiana University recommendations have now put the entire Bloomington community at risk as thousands of kids have been directed to find new housing. A Central Indiana school district made a big decision tonight in the debate over in-person versus virtual learning. WRTV reporter Cameron Riddle spent the evening in Hamilton County, where a group of parents have been pushing for school to reopen.
In southeastern Hamilton County, the demands from families protesting outside of tonight's special school board meeting are crystal clear.
We need to get these kids back to normal, at least closer to normal.
The Dowd family is pushing for fifth grader Ellie to return to in-person classes. Ellie, who has been doing school online since the pandemic began in March, is no fan of e-learning.
It's pretty, boring. I mean, sometimes it's fun. Depends on what we're doing. Actually, we have 5 or 6 Zooms per day.
Third grader Will Brayback is among the Hamilton Southeastern students in kindergarten through 4th grade who are already scheduled to return to the classroom part-time while still doing the e-learning hybrid. But Brayback isn't exactly sold on that idea.
After Labor Day, I get to go back 50-50, but I think it'd be a lot better if we could go back full-time because then you're not going to miss a bunch of Zooms and stuff because you'll be at school and you'll learn a lot better because if you're at home, you're not really learning anything.
Ryan Dowd says he's comfortable sending his daughter back to physical school after seeing other school districts learn how to navigate the pandemic. That's why he's pushing for the school district to reopen classrooms and give students a break from virtual school, which he says can sometimes be overwhelming.
Thinking as an adult, this is pretty hard to read through all the emails, make sure you get the passwords right and all that stuff. And they're doing a great job. I respect the kids. I can speak as an adult. There's no way in heck I'd be able to do what they're doing.
Tonight, the Hamilton Southeastern School Board voted 4-3 to move students in grades 5 through 12 back into the classroom in a hybrid plan, as they've already planned for grades K through 4. School Board member Amanda Shera says the calls to return to the classroom were loud and clear.
We get hundreds of emails every week, and we read through them, and I have them in files in different categories. And parents, 86% of parents want the students back in the schools, and the teachers are best equipped to teach.
In Hamilton County, I'm Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
Definitely a complicated issue, and this week the Fishers Health Department moved its COVID-19 community scale to moderate risk. Mayor Scott Fadden has tweeted about the move, calling it an opportunity for kids to attend school. Now to the forecast. Here's a live look at downtown Indianapolis. Kevin, summer is winding down, but it was such a beautiful night to be outside tonight.
And wait till tomorrow night. That's all I have to say. 24 hours from now, totally different feel. The humidity is leaving as we speak. Some isolated showers through the next couple of hours, but they've all been dissipated now along a cold front. That will leave tons of sunshine for your Friday. Temperature 70 degrees in Lafayette. The humidity's dropped there. The wind is northwest, as you can see. The wind in Bloomington still southwest. That change in wind direction will change the way it feels. Any showers very isolated just to the north end of Richmond toward Winchester a couple. It's with the cold front. Watch the clouds leave to the south and east overnight, and that leaves us with this. Lots of Friday sunshine, cooler temperatures, and low humidity. Will we hold on to that through the weekend? The answer coming up.
When the clock strikes midnight on Tuesday next week, bars and nightclubs in Marion County will be allowed to reopen. Under an updated public health order announced today, those businesses can operate with restrictions starting on the 8th. Indoor seating will be allowed at 25% capacity. Outdoor seating will be 50% capacity. Streets on Mass Ave and Broad Ripple will reopen next week, which will impact outdoor dining in those areas. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett explained why the streets cannot stay closed permanently.
Despite the great partnership we have enjoyed with Park Indy under the city's long-term parking meter contract, there is simply no financially feasible way to permanently close streets within downtown parking meter zones governed by the 2010 contract that the city of Indianapolis entered into. The cost would be in the tens of millions of dollars.
City officials say they will continue to help restaurants and businesses find creative ways to set up outdoor seating. Some industry leaders are not happy about the rules surrounding the reopening. The Indiana Amusement Operators Association and the Indiana Licensed Beverage Association released a statement saying the order will still unfairly harm bars and taverns. They say they are asking local officials to review the guidelines with small business owners to discuss different solutions. The uncertainty surrounding the pandemic is prompting a bar beloved by Boilermakers to close permanently. Purdue's student newspaper, The Exponent, is reporting that the Neon Cactus terminated its lease after 28 years. Dozens of central Indiana businesses have closed in recent months for the same reason, but despite the restrictions and economic hardship, some businesses have actually opened during the pandemic, and that includes the Apocalypse Burger in the Meridian Kessler neighborhood on the north side of Indianapolis. It opened in July and is part of the Patachou restaurant family. The owner came up with the idea during the stay-at-home order.
She was just kind of sitting around with her family talking about what she really wanted in this time of uncertainty, and the general consensus was just a really great burger. So this concept was kind of developed.
The restaurant started as carry-out only. Patio seating is available now with plans to open indoor dining soon. You can find a list of newly open businesses around Indianapolis on our website at WRTV.com. Now to the latest on the toll the pandemic is taking on Hoosier lives. The State Department of Health is now reporting 3,110 COVID-19 deaths in Indiana. 4 newly reported deaths happened between August 13th and Tuesday. 1,110 new positive cases were reported between August 20th and yesterday. Nearly 97,000 people in Indiana have tested positive for the virus since the start of the pandemic. The IU School of Medicine is putting out a call for volunteers to participate in testing of an experimental COVID-19 vaccine. The trial will be conducted at IU Health University Hospital in Indianapolis. The medical school is one of 81 sites in the U.S. chosen to test the vaccine developed by a British company. It's the only site in Indiana. Researchers plan to enroll about 1,500 volunteers over 8 weeks when the site is activated in mid-September. Volunteers must be over the age of 18, have never tested positive for COVID-19, and be at increased risk for contracting the virus. For more info, go to WRTV.com or the WRTV app and click on this story. A potential vaccine, unemployment, and Labor Day. Those are some of the issues at the forefront tonight when it comes to the state of the pandemic across the U.S. ABC's Romina Puga has the latest.
With more than 6 million Americans being infected and the coronavirus death toll nearing 186,000, the CDC wants states to prepare for a potential vaccine that could be ready November 1st. Public health experts like NIH Director Francis Collins say the request by the CDC is appropriate because even though it's unlikely a vaccine will be ready by then, it's good to be prepared in case one is.
These are all guesstimates. That's unlikely, not impossible.
Despite that news, Dr. Anthony Fauci on CNN shared his concern over a possible surge in infections this Labor Day weekend, reminding people to avoid large gatherings and wear face coverings.
We don't want to see a repeat of the surges that we have seen following other holiday weekends.
After hundreds of thousands of bikers showed up in Sturgis for last month's motorcycle rally in South Dakota, the first death has been linked to the gathering. Hundreds of positive COVID-19 cases have been traced back to the rally. The news comes as South Dakota is about to host another potential super spreader event at their state fair over Labor Day weekend. On the financial impact of COVID, weekly unemployment claims fell to their lowest level since March, dipping under 1 million claims for only the second time since the pandemic. That said, the weekly numbers are still historically high.
And a look ahead, experts say governments need to be investing heavily into pandemic prevention efforts. The World Health Organization reports millions of deaths traced back to diseases originating in animals, like the novel coronavirus. In North Carolina, Romina Puga, ABC News.
Coming up, WRTV investigates, finds out why some taxpayers are getting unexpected checks from the IRS. And passion for fashion, an inside look at how Pacer star Victor Oladipo finds his style off the court. Metro Police believe a man killed on the west side tonight was targeted. Officers say the man was shot and killed just inside the door of a home on Cone Street near Riverside Park at around 9:30 this evening. Police say they took a person of interest into custody. The Rebound Indiana is our commitment to holding systems and government agencies accountable as they pledge to help Hoosiers get through the pandemic. Millions of Americans are getting deposits and checks from the IRS. WRTV Investigates has learned these are not a scam. Doretta New received $30 unexpectedly from the IRS. We first introduced you to the Indianapolis grandmother back in May. At the time, she was worried because she had not received her tax refund or her federal stimulus payment. Doretta finally got her refund and stimulus money in June. The surprise payment came in mid-August. The IRS announced this week people who received these interest payments filed their 2019 federal income tax returns by the July 15th deadline and were owed refunds.
The interest payment just came like 3 weeks ago. It just showed up on a whim in my bank account as a deposit, and it said IRS, and that's all it said. And it's like, okay, what's this?
Because the filing deadline was moved to July 15th, the law requires the IRS to pay interest calculated from the original April filing deadline. Interest payments average about $18. Most are issued separately from tax refunds. If you received your refund by direct deposit, it will come the same way. Everyone else will get a check with a note that reads INT amount. You must report it as income in your federal tax return next year.
Okay, the big change. We hit 87 today, kind of snuck up on us with some humidity as well. Temperatures as we speak are falling. Notice the green colors, the cooler, drier air as the humidity drops quickly behind the cold front. 70 in Lafayette with low humidity. Temperatures mid-70s elsewhere with a slight chance of a shower next hour or two southeast of Indy. That wind will begin to calm down, but notice the northwest and northerly direction through tomorrow. That will be one of the main reasons tomorrow is going to be such a great day and that we have these comfortable temperatures. 58 tomorrow morning, but the coolest morning, that will be Saturday. 55 degrees the way we step into the Labor Day weekend. And enjoy this. Our break from the heat and humidity relatively brief, even though it's significant. Then temperatures start to warm back up next week and the humidity will climb as well. We hit rock bottom in the humidity scale tomorrow. It slowly climbs and it never gets too bad, but you'll notice it'll feel like summer again, certainly early next week. Temperatures during the day tomorrow, as we mentioned, in the 70s, but we step it the other way as we go through Saturday, Sunday. Monday's temperature at 86. And I'd say this stretch is going to be dry. The chance of a shower or thunderstorm just 20% on a Sunday. Tomorrow, low humidity, lots of sunshine, comfortable temperatures. That north breeze, 77 for the high. As you look at your Saturday, temperatures start even cooler, mid-50s. By the time we get to lunchtime, noon, 75, 82, the afternoon high. Some spots will fall just short of 80 degrees once again Saturday afternoon. Most of us, though, just about average for this time of the year. The average high has slipped to 83 degrees. If you look at Sunday, a few more clouds around, touch more humidity, and we'll put that chance for a thunderstorm at 20%. Tuesday, that'll be the warmest day of the week. 87 for the high. Chance of thunderstorms is low on Wednesday. Temperature still at 81. And then after that, temperatures late next week with a little better chance for thunderstorms Wednesday and Thursday, cooling back off. 74 will be Thursday's highs. And by the end of next week, temperatures back into the upper 50s. Amanda?
You better be making some weekend plans after a forecast like that. On the court, Pacers players proudly support the blue and gold with the occasional hickory colors, but beyond the court, the style and fashion is much more diverse. Before the pandemic started, WRTV sports director Dave First caught up with Victor Oladipo in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight, a career that's tailor-made.
Life in the NBA is about as fast-paced as it gets. Cameras are everywhere, even when players arrive for a game. So, Victor Oladipo has had to evolve.
Your fashion sense, was it innate? Is it something you grew up with?
No, not at all. It was not. From as long as I can remember, I had no sense of style at all. Everything was just sweats and basketball shorts or just a t-shirt and some jeans. Like, I didn't have no sense of style.
Then comes a visit to New York City. Tall buildings, iconic images, the traffic. And Times Square. And times are a-changing. Enter Rachel Johnson.
People call me their fashion fairy godmother. I just kind of sprinkle fairy dust wherever I go.
A 19-year veteran of wardrobe styling, and now Vic's personal stylist.
You work with a lot of athletes, a lot of musicians. What sets Vic apart in all this?
But Vic is Vic. There is no other NBA All-Star who can sing, who has a heart of gold, and who dresses beautifully.
And while in Gotham, the two work to keep it that way.
What do you want to throw out there?
Nothing too crazy, but something crazy at the same time. If that makes any sense.
Meaning what?
For me, I'm the type of person who, I'm just who I am. Like, I'm very, very mellow, very easygoing, but at the same time, I like to have fun.
Victor Oladipo! Case in point, the annual NBA Awards night. Victor's suit as memorable as his singing.
4 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, and a Sunday for you to love me Monday.
The wildest thing you've ever worn would be what?
Yeah, my suit at the NBA Awards was awesome, yeah.
But that was kind of like a one-off thing. You can't really wear that again.
No, I'm never wearing that again, actually, but it was pretty cool because it kind of stood out, so. But it was just a suit, but it stood out. See how that is? It's a suit, but it's still some flair to it.
So you'll find the two in pop-up shops like Public School in New York. Founded just 10 years ago, a mix of cool and casual, shoes in shades of blue, black, and gray, transcending age.
Don't that look like him? For sure.
Look like an LL Bean catalog today.
I tell her all the time, I look good in everything. And she's like, yeah, you do. Like, you can get away with everything.
What direction do you want to see him go?
I love this boy next door look that he has, that...
Which plays well in Indiana, by the way.
Oh, well, obviously. Clearly. But there's something very accessible about him.
And their collective goal, keep it that way, both on and off the court.
Vic is the nicest guy in the world.
Here we go. Here we go.
I am though.
That's true. All right.
He's top two. Me and Obama.
Oh, I thought you were going to say your mom.
That's good company.
Oh yeah, my mom.
Does.
But I'll just be 3.
There you go.
So picture this. The kid that wore t-shirts and sweatpants can now be seen in something a little more put together. Not only can he spin a ball, he's having one as well.
Look at him now. Look at him now.
Still got a long way to go though. That's why she's here.
The most fun is when my client is standing in the mirror and they start like doing a little dance or a little shimmy and they turn and move. That's when I know that I did my job.
When you dress good, you look good, you play good, so, and that's what it's all about.
Now to Rochester, New York, where 7 police officers are suspended and connected to the death of an unarmed black man in March. ABC's Romina Puga reports there is new outrage over the case after the release of body cam video.
The mayor of Rochester, New York is taking drastic action in response to the death of Daniel Prude.
I am suspending the officers in question today against the advice of counsel, and I urge the Attorney General to complete her investigation.
Protests erupted this week amid the release of body cam footage showing officers pinning down Prude in the midst of a mental health crisis until he passes out, later dying in the hospital.
Are you Daniel? Yes, sir.
The medical examiner called Prude's death a homicide, ruling that he died by complications of asphyxia in the setting of physical restraint, excited delirium, and PCP. The mayor says the police chief told her Prude had overdosed while in custody. Rochester Police Chief Laurent Singletary disputed the mayor's account and says he ordered criminal and internal investigations into the incident.
He lost his life because of the actions of our police officers.
Prude's daughter Thursday saying the man she saw in the body cam footage is not the father she knew.
I knew him as a caring, energetic, and happy-go-lucky man who enjoyed making everybody smile and who loved his kids.
A statement from the Attorney General's office says the Prude family and greater Rochester community deserve answers. The mayor adding that additional funding for mental health assistance is coming, as well as changes to the department's response to mental health calls. In North Carolina, Romina Puga, ABC News.
WRTV is raising money to help give kids the gift that keeps on giving, books. The goal of our If You Give a Child a Book campaign is to empower children with the literacy tools they need to be successful in school and in life. Go to WRTV.com/giveabook for more info. Kevin.
And you can't judge a book by its cover, but tomorrow you can. Sunshine from start to finish. How about that? Temperature by lunchtime, 69, only in the 70s with tons of sun.
Thanks for joining us. Good night.